The new movie, The Outfit, gives us a different take on the traditional mobster drama. It stars Academy Award winner Mark Rylance as a tailor that must outwit a violent group of mobsters that frequent his store. Academy Award winning screenwriter Graham Moore makes his directorial debut. Take a look.
Don't want to be involved in whatever it is you do.
You know exactly what it is that we do.
Whoa, full house tonight, huh?
Have you ever heard of The Outfit?
The Outfit?
It's a network of every big-time crew from Santa Monica to Coney Island. And tonight, they've sent us a message. They're hiding something, my friend.
I'm gonna need that tape power.
We knew we wanted to tell a story about a bespoke tailor, a kind of craftsman. I was so fascinated by the psychology of these people who spend decades and decades perfecting this extremely precise and esoteric craft. And we spent a long time researching tailors, spending time with tailors. We're trying to figure out what's the story in that world that we wanted to tell. And then one day, we found this single sentence in a book about 20th century tailoring history that mentioned that the first bug the FBI ever planted was in Chicago, Illinois in 1956 inside a tailor shop. And as soon as we found that, my eyes lit up and I just went, oh, that's the story. That's amazing. What if we tell a whole sort of twisty gangland crime saga, but instead of telling it from gangsters' perspective, we tell it from the perspective of this mild-mannered tailor whose shop they use for drops and beatings.
Well, yeah, because it's quite a different take on those traditional mob crime dramas that we know, and getting Mark Rylance to star in it. I mean, he was fascinating.
Yeah, he's so wonderful. My first film as a director, so you never imagine that you're going to get an actor of Mark's caliber to star in anything, much less my directorial debut. But I think he got it, very quickly. I remember sending him the script and he sort of called right away, and he sort of got why it was interesting and fascinating for him. And he's so much like that character himself. I mean, I think Mark is someone who has spent decades and decades perfecting the craft of acting.
Not only is it a directorial debut, you're putting your heart and soul in this, but you're filming in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing you ever wanted, but it will certainly be memorable.
It was. I mean, yeah, I don't think I would have chosen to direct my first film in the middle of a global pandemic, but that's where we found ourselves. And in some ways, there were some lovely things about it. I mean, the production ended up being so kind of bubbled up that it became quite intimate. I mean, none of us could really go anywhere or talk to anyone besides each other. There weren't, 1,000 sets all over town. There was kind of one big set on which the whole movie was shot. And so I think in a strange way, shooting in the middle of a pandemic allowed us this terrifically intimate focus on each other and the work we were doing.
This whole movie is shot in the confines of the tailor shop. It was never shot anywhere else. Was that already the original idea, or was that a product of the pandemic?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that. That was one of the ideas from the very beginning. From early on, once we sort of found this true story about the FBI chasing the mob, trying to get at them through a bug in a tailor shop, we sort of said, oh, well, what if we try writing a version of a script where the whole film never leaves the shop? Because the character never leaves the shop. It's about this guy, Mark Rylance's character, who has shut himself off from the world. He's just trying to lock the door, live in his workroom, and make these beautiful, perfect things. All he wants to do is pretend the outside world doesn't exist, and he can just make beautiful things inside his shop. And what he will find over the course of the film is that he can't do that, because the outside world is still there, and there are violent people who are going to come knocking on your door, and they're going to want things, and you're going to have to make moral decisions about what you do in that case.
You won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay for The Imitation Game. That was your first movie, right?
It was.
That's incredible.
It was a pretty lucky thing. I think I got a little bit spoiled coming off of my first movie and having all of that attention. I felt very, very lucky.
I gotta ask though, your Oscar, where do you keep it?
It's funny. My wife and I had a baby about 1.5 years ago, and so where your place in the family lies when first my office became the baby room, and then the next room became his sort of playroom, and so my Oscar keeps getting moved like farther and farther into some back closet of the house to make room for other baby stuff. So currently my Oscar is in a closet with all the spare diapers, which is a good reminder of my real job as a father and parent.
Keeps you humble, right? The Outfit is in theaters everywhere starting March 18th. I highly recommend it.